whatever is good, but we will try Bhagavatam in one word. I'm going to start sharing the screen. Radhashyam Sundar. Okay. So before we go to the Bhagavatam in 1 hour session, in 5 minutes, or maybe less than that, we'll just quickly recap what we did so far. Yeah, it should just take 2 minutes. So far, we have seen how Bhagavatam is the essence of Vedic scriptures. Right? How Bhagavatam is Sarva Vedanta Saram. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Ishyate. So that we have seen so far. These are the slides we have covered. Okay. And after that, we have seen how Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself. Yeah. So when we are, and yeah, this is the slide. So this is what we have covered so far. This summarizes what we have done so far. Specialty of Srimad Bhagavatam. So as we just mentioned, Bhagavatam is the essence of Vedic literature and unparalleled Rasamrita Sarva Vedanta Saram. So no other Purana is Sarva Vedanta Saram, but it's Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate. That's first speciality. And the second one that we just discussed was how a Purana, a major Purana like Padma Purana, is endorsing Srimad Bhagavatam as the representation of Lord Krishna. So no other Purana is endorsing any other Purana as the personification of Lord Krishna. But Padma Purana is doing that to Srimad Bhagavatam and saying, here you go. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Grandavatara of Lord Krishna. And then Padma Purana glorifies each limb, transcendental limb of the Lord, starting from the first canto, yeah, Padav, Yadiyo, Pradamadvitiyo, from that till the crown, right, 12th canto. So that beautiful transcendental description and endorsement is given by Padma Purana about Srimad Bhagavatam. So second point is Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna Grandhavatara. First point is Sarva Vedanta Saram. Second point is Krishna Grandhavatara. Third point is this is one Mahapurana where it establishes Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the heart very soon, very quickly. So, Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. That happens only with Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's the third point. Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Sri Krishna Paramatma. That Bhagavan Vishate Hridi by worshipping Lord Krishna in the Grandavatara as endorsed by Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Yeah, so that's the third point. Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. And when that Lord Krishna is manifesting in the heart like that, a spiritual revolution happens. Tadvag Visargo Janatagha Viplavo. Janata Agha Viplavo. Viplava is revolution. Not just in ordinary people or pious people. But this spiritual revolution can happen even in impious, sinful people. Janata Agha, sinful people also. Viplavo, the spiritual revolution happens. How? Because the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shrinvatam, as we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashta Prayesho Bhadreshu, all that is unwanted in the heart is washed away, even for the sinful people. Sinful is they're full of modes. All those are washed away just by Shrinvatam Svakata Krishna. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Rudantastohi abhadrani. Vidhunoti satam. That's how spiritual revolution happens. This happens only with Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's the fourth point, spiritual revolution. Right? And the next one, Srimad Bhagavatam is the only Purana that is giving full, complete definition of absolute truth. We cannot call anything as God or anyone as God. It has to have 7 characteristics that we will describe in detail in the next class when we go to the first canto. But that definition of absolute truth, Janmadhyasya yadho anvayati taratas, that definition is given only in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So next point is the definition of absolute truth. That's the point. And after that, the only Purana that is teaching us about dharma of the soul, parodharma, is Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Beyond the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the 4 purusharthas, beyond all this is panchama purushartha, which is Shuddha Bhakti Rasa, Krishna Prema. That is given by Srimad Bhagavatam only. Okay, so that's one more specialty of Srimad Bhagavatam. And there is only one Purana that invites us saying, come, drink this pure Bhakti Rasa. Muhuraho Rasika, Bhuvi Bhavukaha, Nigama Kalpatalor Kalitam Phalam. That is only Srimad Bhagavatam. There is only one Nigama Kalpatalor Phalitam Galitam Phalam. Only one ripened fruit of the Veda, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, because that's the essence of all the Vedas. Sweet essence of all the Vedas. So that's the other specialty of Bhagavatam. So in this way, oh yeah, the last one is Bhagavatam is incarnation by itself. When there is an incarnation, it has to do 2 things. It has to satisfy 2 dharmas. One is paritranaya sadhunam. Second one is vinashaya cha dushkritam. So how is Bhagavatam doing paritranaya sadhuna? How is it rescuing the pious souls? By explaining the pastimes of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord. So all the pious souls, they get attracted to those qualities and pastimes of the Lord. In that way, they're gradually transcending the modes and enter the transcendental realm. That's how Bhagavatam is rescuing the pious souls. How is Vinashaya cha Dushkritam happening? How is the bad being destroyed? As we just discussed, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. All the Nashta Praya, all that is unwanted, dirty in us, all that is troublesome to the heart, is all cut off, being washed away by Shrinvatam, by hearing the Bhagavatam. Simply by hearing Bhagavatam with great faith, and from those pure souls, all those that are troublesome to the heart are destroyed. So in this way, Pavitranaya Sadhuna, Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. So Vinashaya cha Dushkritam is happening that way, when the Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu is happening. Right? So these are the specialities of Srimad Bhagavatam that we have discussed so far. Awesome. And now, let's go to Srimad Bhagavatam in 1 hour. Let's see what time. Okay. Let's read now. It might take less than an hour, but seatbelts ready. This is a beautiful one because Srimad Bhagavatam is 12 cantos. Grandha Rajam, big, and we are trying to do it in 1 hour. So it is going to be condensed, one-liner, like Vedanta Sutra, one-liners. Okay, so we'll start now. We'll try to do that. So Srimad Bhagavatam, all the subject matters in Srimad Bhagavatam are covered under 10 subject matters. This sloka is given in the second canto. And these are the subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshana murtaya manvantara ishanukada nirodho muktirashrayah. These are the 10 subject matters. I know we have discussed this last time, but I felt like it was too simplified, honestly. So I thought we'll go a little methodically, yeah, and that's why we took up this topic. And we took up this topic exclusively as a 1 hour topic. That way, we will be covering the whole Srimad Bhagavatam as a summary in 1 hour. So this will be our topic today. So these 10 subject matters, they are nicely spread over 12 cantos. What we will do is, we will go to the slide and then you really walk peacefully with some familiarity. And hopefully, by the end of this 50 minutes, you have packed reasonably well the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, at least in terms of knowledge and buzzwords. Okay, so let's get some familiarity of the Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargascha. Sarga is primary creation, visarga is secondary creation. Let's see where they are. Okay. When we go to the first canto, we have these 4 topics. First one, the 6 questions of Naimisharanya sages and the answers. Second one, I didn't mention here, history of Srimad Bhagavatam. When we say that, who recited Srimad Bhagavatam, who wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, that's Vyasadeva. With whose inspiration did he write? By Sri Narada Muni's inspiration. So, second topic in the first canto is about Narada Vyasa Samvada and how Srimad Bhagavatam Avirbhavam has happened, appearance has happened. Okay, that's the second topic. Third one is Bhagavatam opens with Brahmastra released by Ashwadhama. Parikshit is saved in Uttara's womb. Kunti Devi offers prayers, followed by Bhishma Deva's prayers. Okay, that's all third topic. And then fourth topic, now that Parikshit Maharaj is born, after Pandavas retire timely, Parikshit's kingdom, his ruling, and the curse by Brahmana is described, and the entrance of Sukadeva Goswami to the kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj. That's all in first canto. So if you remember these 5 things, that's first canto. Okay, coming to the second canto, now the conversation between Sukadeva and Parikshit has started. Sukadeva Goswami has explained about the Virat Rupa, Ashtanga Yoga, Karma Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. And he shows how Bhakti Yoga is superior to all other yogas. That's the first subject matter in the second canto. And then Parikshit Maharaj asks about the questions about creation to Sukadeva Goswami. Then Sukadeva Goswami says, oh, these questions, exactly these questions were asked by Narada to his father Brahma. And that's when Brahma Narada Samvada happens. The topic of Sarga and Visarga comes. So that's why in second canto, a little bit of Sarga and Visarga is discussed. More of Sarga is discussed. Sarga is primary creation. What is primary creation? The moment from when Shambhu interacts with Pradhana, Mahatattva forms. And then from that, Ahankara comes. And then 3 modes come. And from that, Virat Rupa comes. Until then, it is primary creation. Virat Rupa is like a blueprint. On top of that, Brahma starts building Brahmanda, 14 planetary systems. From then, Visarga starts. He has created the Brahmanda, built the Brahmanda, and then he gives bodies to all the living entities. 4 kinds of living entities. Moving and non-moving. So that part of creating Brahmanda, the 14 planetary systems, and giving the bodies either directly or through his progeny by Brahma is called Visarga, secondary creation. Okay, and this Visarga is described even more in detail in the 3rd canto. Sarga is discussed detail in the 2nd canto, Visarga more in the 3rd canto. And in the same 2nd canto, the Bhagavata, Chaturshloki Bhagavata, where Lord Brahma receives the shake hand from Lord Narayana. And then 4 topics were discussed. How Lord Narayana, who is the expansion of Krishna, is present before the creation, is the only one present before the creation and after the creation. Second, how he is present in every atom. Third one, about Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Fourth one, about how bhakti is the only way to attain Bhagavan. This is the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, Samvada of Brahma and Narayana. That happens in the 2nd canto. Coming to the 3rd canto, we have already described what Visarga means. It is the start of the secondary creation from the blueprint of Virat Rupa, where 14 planetary systems are built in the Brahmanda, and different kinds of bodies are given to all the souls. That is Visarga. That is the first part of discussion in 3rd canto. And now that Brahmanda is created, it begins with Varaha. And when we say Varaha Deva, Hiranyaksha is there because Varaha Deva comes to kill Hiranyaksha. So Varaha Hiranyaksha Katha is present in the 2nd part of 3rd canto. This is where the description of Vaikuntha is given. This is where the 4 Kumaras go to Vaikuntha and smells the transcendental aroma of Tulsi Devi coming from the lotus feet of Narayana, and they are changed from the Brahmavadis to Shuddha Bhaktas. That is in 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 2nd topic. And the 3rd topic, 3rd canto, is Kapila Vacha. Swayambhamu Manu's daughter, Devahuti, comes down with his father and is handed over to Kardama Muni. And they get married. And then Lord Kapila is born to them. And that's the place for Lord Kapila's teachings, 3rd canto. Detailed description of Bhakti Yoga, Sadhana Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, and neophyte devotee. Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari, different kind of devotees, all the characteristics, all of them are explained here in Kapila Vacha. Also, embryology, how the fetus helplessly prays in the womb of a mother is described in this section, Kapila Vacha. Okay, So that's all in third canto. In that way, Sarga and Visarga are described in the second and third cantos of Srimad Bhagavata. Sarga more in the second canto, Visarga more in the third canto. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam. Sthanam, that's the next topic. Sthanam is Tithir Vaikuntha Vijayam. It means how our Lord leads us only to the victory. How, if anybody takes up to the process of Bhakti Yoga, attains only victory, no matter what mode they are in. Even if they are in mode of ignorance or passion or goodness. Ultimately, they end up in victory only. Sthithir Vaikuntha Vijaya. This is how Lord gives Vijaya to his devotees, even if they are starting their devotion in the mode of ignorance. And these things are described through these devotees. So Daksha was in such an ignorant condition, so hard-hearted and so disrespectful to Lord Shiva, that Sati Devi, wife of Lord Shiva, could not bear the insult. And she sets herself in fire with her yogic power. And this is all because of the ignorant actions of Daksha. But nevertheless, Daksha continued to worship Narayana in the next life. And he offered Hamsaguhya prayers. He pleased Narayana. And he got the boons that he was looking for as a Prajapati. So in this way, though Daksha started his devotion in the mode of ignorance, over a period of time, all he attained is Vijaya. Sthithir Vaikuntha Vijaya. This is how Bhakti gives only success, even to those people who starts their devotion in ignorance. The next one is Dhruva. Dhruva wanted a kingdom that is so much huge than his great-grandfather Brahma. That was his passion. He wanted that kingdom and he wanted that much fame and he wanted that much position. That was his amount of passion. But when he uttered Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and meditated upon Lord Vishnu, and when Lord Vishnu appeared, he was thinking, what a fool am I? What was I asking for? Pieces of glass? Look at this diamond-like Bhagavan standing before me. I want him, not these pieces of glass, not these kingdoms in this material world. So the transformation already happened. In this way, Dhruva gets both the material opulence in the form of Dhruva Nakshatra, the Dhruva planet, and of course, he goes back to Vaikuntha Loka after leaving the body. So like this, though the devotees, even if they start their bhakti in the mode of passion, bhakti is so potent and so purifying, the transformation will happen. And the devotees will end up in victory only in offering devotional service to the Lord. Sthithir Vaikuntha Vijaya through Dhruva. Next, Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is an expansion of Bhagavan, Shaktiveshi Avatar, to show how a king should rule his kingdom. So he was already situated very well in goodness. And he wanted to do Ashwamedha Yajna, Sahasra, 100 horse sacrifices. So he can become Indra. He could do 99 sacrifices. The 100th sacrifice is stopped by Lord Vishnu himself. Prithu Maharaj did not hesitate to stop the 100th one and let go of his Indra position. his potential Indra position just to please the Lord. He placed the word of the Lord, the desire of the Lord, not to go for the 100th sacrifice, and pushed away the throne of Indra that would have come to him. So in this way, he has transcended even the mode of goodness. And in this way, his devotion has given him victory, transcending the modes. And next comes Prachetas. They went to the forest on the order of their father Prachina Barishit. They met Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a great devotee, and he instructed on how to please Lord Vishnu, Narayana, who is the expansion of Krishna. Thus, they pleased Lord Vishnu. They ruled the kingdom, had the progeny, and then they moved on to the next destination. And in this way, they were not lost, but they were directed by a pure devotee to perform devotional service to Lord Vishnu and then move on to their next ascending step. After that comes Priyavrata in 5th canto. Priyavrata's story is a little different from what we have seen so far. In the case of Daksha, even though he was ignorant, he was rescued, he was maintained. In the case of Dhruva, he has transcended from passion to bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti. Prithu also has transcended from goodness to pleasing Lord Vishnu. So he has transcended to the transcendental platform. Here, Priyavrata, in the very beginning, he already renounced all the kingdom and the kingly pleasures and went to the forest, and he was involved in the meditation. But Lord Brahma, he came down and he asked him to come back to his kingdom, get married, and have progeny, a king, so he can continue his kingdom. In that way, Priyavrata was brought from a life of renunciation to life of grihastha, which can be entangling. But because he was continuing to perform bhakti, he remained as a drop on the lotus flower, a drop of water on the lotus flower, untouched. That way, his victory was also assured. His transcendental journey also continued. This is Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijaya. All these great personalities, all these devotees, though they are in different modes, they are maintained by the Lord in their bhakti journey. And ultimately, they were given only success and ascended the process. Sthitir Vaikuntha Vijaya. And in the second topic, in the 5th canto, is cosmology. How, so far, the maintenance by the Lord to his devotees to assure success was described through the charita of all these personalities. Here in cosmology, the placement of different jivas in different planetary systems, in different bodies, through Brahma, by the Lord, is described. So Lord is the primary cause for this material manifestation, though Brahma is the secondary engineer. So in this way, Lord has given a place for a jiva, a body for a jiva through Brahma, and has maintained them, maintained these souls physically also, maintaining sthiti. Yeah. So in this way, sthiti is described in the Bhagavatam in the 4th and 5th canto. The maintenance of the jivas in their bhakti and also physically in the Brahmanda in the body is explained as Sthiti. Sthitir Vaikunta Vijaya. That is 4th and 5th canto. Okay. Next topic is Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam. Poshanam is the next topic. Poshanam means protection. The difference between Sthiti and Poshanam is Sthiti is maintenance. But in Poshanam, the maintenance is done in spite of a mistake that was committed. So the Lord is so merciful that he will not let us go just because we have committed a mistake accidentally or helplessly under the influence of whatever. If we continue to pursue bhakti, the protection will continue. And this is narrated and described in the 6th canto through the story of these personalities. Ajamila was a pious soul in the beginning, performing all the Vedic rituals, a good Brahmana. But over a period of time, he came under the influence of a prostitute and was degraded in his responsibilities and in the Varnashrama. And he fell victim to her. So in that way, he passed his life, but at the very end, just because he uttered Narayana, though he was not calling Bhagavan directly, but the name of Narayana was so merciful that it came and rescued Ajamila from going to the hell. Because that name was uttered in such a helpless condition. The soul was about to come out of the body. And Ajamila could see nothing, could hear nothing, and only those 4 words came out. That is Nama Abhasa. Right? There's nothing happening but just the holy name. That is not even Shuddha Nama. Even then he got the liberation. That's why the Vaikuntavasis came. Liberation is in 5 forms. That is Sayujya Mukti, merging into the Brahman, Salokya Mukti, entering into the Vaikuntha planets, Samipya Mukti, staying closer to the Vaikuntha Rupa, that's Narayana, Sarupya Mukti, having the same feature as Narayana, Sarshti, having the same opulence as Narayana. These are all still considered liberation only. So in that way, he had the darshan of the Vaikuntavasis, Ajamila, just because he uttered the name of Lord Hari, Narayana. So Harinam was so merciful that it protected Ajamila, even though it was called indirectly. In this way, protection, Poshana, was given to Ajamila by the Lord in the form of Harinam. And in the case of Chitraketu, he was already exalted. He already had the darshan of Sankarshana. But when he looked at Mother Parvati in the lap of Lord Shiva, he could not understand why Lord Shiva was doing so in front of all these sages. So he had a second thought, and he had a little concern of what sages would think. But the very fact that he had a second thought about Lord Shiva's glorious position was itself considered as an offense. Of course, there is a different meaning on a different platform for the same instance. But in this case, though this offense was done by Chitraketu to Lord Shiva on one platform, Chitraketu was protected, even though he was sent into a body of demon called Vritrasura in the next life. His bhakti was maturing so much inside, and he was yearning to be in Sadhu Sangha. In the Sangha of Sharanagata Bhaktas, pure devotees so much. On the battlefield, Vritrasura was asking Indra. He was huge. Vritrasura was huge, touching the sky. And Indra was so small in front of him. Indra was shivering. And he wanted to escape from the battlefield because he saw that he could not fight with Vritrasura. But Vritrasura calls Indra, encourages Indra. He says, Indra, throw that thunderbolt on me. That is going to kill me because that is the will of Lord Vishnu. I want to get out of this demoniac body. I want to go to those sages who has given me the life. I want to be with those sadhus. Please get me out of this demoniac body. Throw that Vajrayuda on me. And this is what Vritrasura was saying in the battlefield to Indra, to kill him. Indra was astonished. And why is all this happening? Because the bhakti in Chitraketu, that is getting so mature and ripened in the body of Vritrasura, that it cannot wait anymore, but want to be with those sadhus who always give Krishna to others. Srila Narottamadaasa says, right? Sadhu recites the Govinda Sada Tamara Hridaya Vishrami. Govinda always recites in the Hridaya of sadhus. This is the prayer of all the devotees in the Bhagavatam, to stay with the sadhus because they give Govinda. Govinda may present everywhere and anywhere, but is only accessible through the sadhus from their heart. And this is what we were just discussing in the very beginning. Our Guru Parampara is trying to implant something into our heart because they carry Govinda with them. So Vritrasura was very much longing to be with the sadhus. So in this way, Vritrasura was given protection. His bhakti was given protection. Though he was put in a demoniac body, it didn't really matter much. The bhakti was blossoming beautifully in the heart. So the protection was continued. And the next one is Diti. She wanted to kill Indra because Indra was killing all her sons, demoniac sons. And for that, she was worshipping Narayana. And the intention was not good to kill Indra. But the process she took up was good, worshipping Narayana. So though her intention was not good, which is offensive to kill Indra, because she was worshipping Narayana, she was given protection. In what way? At the end of the vrata she has done, Indra turns out to be her son, not her enemy. So she considered Indra also her son. And Indra considered all his siblings that are born from the womb of Diti as his brothers. So in this way, the story ended happily, where it should have ended with killing Indra. And this is all because Diti was worshipping Narayana. So that auspicious is bhakti. That much auspicious is Narayana or Krishna, that they give protection no matter what to the devotees. Even if their intention is not right, even if there is a mistake happening accidentally or helplessly, but if they continue to worship, then the protection will continue. This is all endorsed, described in the 6th canto, Poshana, protection. And this coincides with the chest of the Lord. Nabhistada panchamayeva shashto bhujantaram doryugalam tadanya. The 6th canto is like chest of the Lord, where protection is given. Okay. So far we have done Sarga, Visarga, Sarga more in the second canto, Visarga more in the third canto, Sthanam, which is fourth and fifth canto, Poshana, the sixth canto. Now coming to seventh canto. Sthanam, Poshanam, Utayaha. Uti. Uti is our proclivity, the natural proclivity that stems from the heart. For Prahalada, the natural proclivity was divine qualities. For Hiranyakashipu, the natural proclivity that is stemming from within is demonic quality. Varnashrama is also described in the seventh canto. The reason being, we may not be great devotees like Prahalada or great demons like Hiranyakashipu. We may be, but like little Hiranyakashipus. So we are in between. What do we do for those people who are in between? So they can continue to ascend towards Sattva and transcend the modes. They follow Varnashrama. Follow your Varna, follow your Ashrama. And do your occupation to please Lord Vishnu. This was the Varnashrama system, Daivi Varnashrama system that was there, until Kali Yuga. Varnas are four. That is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Those souls that have inclination to learn and teach are Brahmanas. Those that have inclination to manage and protect are Kshatriyas. Those who has inclination to do Vanijya or business is Vaishyas. And those who have no inclination for other things but more of physical, manual labor is Sudras. That is Varnas, is natural tendency, natural inclination is Varnas. Ashrama is Brahmacharya, and then Grihastha. After that, after 50 years is Vanaprastha, later Sannyasa. So these are Varna and Ashramas. Everybody stays in their Varna Ashrama depending on their age and their natural inclination. But whatever they might be doing, wherever they are, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, do the occupation to please Vishnu. That was the Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. When that was followed over many lifetimes, people would slowly, first they would do regulated material enjoyment in the Varnashrama Dharma. Regulated material enjoyment. Over a period of many lives, they would be gradually going to mode of passion and goodness. And when they get in touch with a sadhu, a pure bhakta, then they would transcend the modes. And that way, they can come from the demonic proclivity like Hiranyakashipu to the divine proclivity like Prahalada by following that Varnashrama over many lifetimes. But bhakti is so potent. Anybody in any Varna and any Ashrama, when they get association of a sadhu, Lavamatra sadhu sangha, then it's like a fast escalator, elevator. They would quickly get out of the modes because of the attraction they develop for Hari. So bhakti falls in a different category. And that is what we are putting in the process of bhakti yoga by the pure devotees. We are putting in this process. So that seventh canto, Uti. After that is Manvantara and Ishanukada. Manvantara. Remember, in one day of Brahma, 14 Manus are there. I'll show you this slide, then you will feel more familiarity. In this 14 Manvantaras, see this one, We have covered 6 Manus have passed. We are in the 7th Manu, Vaivashvata Manu. So all the pastimes that have happened in different Manvantaras here, the important pastimes and the incarnations are described in Manvantara. Okay, so this is the slide, Manvantara. Gajendra Moksha, Ksheerasagara Madanam, in the Chakshusha Manu, Mohini Murti Avatara, and Vamana Rupa, Matsya Avatara. All these avatars in different Manvantaras, they are all explained in the 8th canto under Manvantara. Next comes very easy one, Ishanu Katha. Simple. There are 2 dynasties, Surya dynasty, Chandra dynasty, Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha. Both these Vamshas started with Manu. Our Manu is Vaivashvata Manu. From Vaivashvata Manu, over many generations, Ikshvaku came out. Ikshvaku was born. And his great-great-great-grandson is Ambarish Maharaj. He belongs to Ikshvaku dynasty, Surya Vamsa. And Lord Ram is in the same dynasty. So Rama Katha is in the 9th canto. In this way, Surya Vamsha and the kings of Surya Vamsha's Charita is described in the 9th canto. Chandra Vamsha starts with, again, Vaivashvata Manu. His progeny, Sudyumna, unites with Buddha to give birth to Pururava. That's the beginning. From there, over a period of time, Yayati is born, and great-great-great-grandson is Kuru. You know the Kuru dynasty means? Kuru Vamsha is Pandavas and Kauravas. Right? So in this way, the Chandra Vamsha is also described in 9th canto. This is how it takes us to the 10th canto, the Chandra Vamsha, Lord Krishna, his appearance and Leelas in the 10th canto. So Manvantara is 8th, Ishanukata is 9th. Then the shloka it says, Nirodho Muktir Ashraya. It talks about Nirodha first. It doesn't talk about Ashraya, which is 10th canto. We will see why later. It says Nirodho Muktir Ashraya. Nirodha is dissolution. Dissolution is of 4 kinds. Pralaya is 4 kinds. First kind is Nitya Pralaya, constant deterioration, dissolution that is happening in every atom, in everything. Second one is Naimittika Pralaya, that is happening at the end of the day of Brahma, partial dissolution. Third one is Prakritika Pralaya, at the end of life of Brahma. Fourth one is Atyantika Pralaya, the ultimate dissolution of the false ego. The 4 dissolutions. Nirodha is described in the 12th canto. And of course, how Takshaka bird comes and bites Parikshit Maharaj and Markandeya's story and all the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, they are all described in the 12th canto also. That's the subject matter of Nirodha, 12th canto. Then Muktir. Mukti is what? Muktir Anyatha Rupena Swarupena Vyavasthiti. Muktir Anyadahitvam Swarupena Vyavasthiti. Mukti means one situated in his Swarupa, beyond liberation. That is real mukti. Being situated in Swarupa means in bhakti is real mukti. That is described in the 11th canto. In Uddhava Gita, Lord Krishna describes very elaborately about the deity worship, about Varnashrama Dharma, about Ashtanga Yoga. After describing everything, then he shows how Bhakti Yoga is superior and more potent. So that's the topic of Mukti in 11th canto. And all the teachings of Navayogendra highlights how Bhakti is the ultimate Mukti. Okay, that is Mukti. So Nirodho Muktir Ashraya. Ashraya is the shelter, Samambonam. That's the 10th canto, where the shelter, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, everything about our shelter, Bhagavan Krishna, Lord Krishna is present. That's 10th canto. So these are the subject matters of Srimad Bhagavata. Then we would think, why is the sequence like this here? Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshana mutaya manvantara ishanukata. Why didn't it say Muktir Nirodho Ashraya and then Muktir Nirodha? Why didn't the sequence go like that? Acharya's explanation is to show the Bhagavatam can just be said with the 10th canto itself, because directly presenting Bhagavan Lord Krishna. But a conditioned soul who is submerged in the modes will think, here is Krishna looking like me, and I am also looking like Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna and me. So whatever he does, I can do it. So whatever he is doing is just very ordinary. There is no importance that needs to be given. They're just few more humanly activities. Now, there are many theories. Even Bhagavad Gita is also interpreted in this fashion, where Krishna is just looked at as an exemplary human being, historical person, at the most, a personification of, knowledge, all these things. They do not understand that he is Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. So Srimad Bhagavatam has decided to make it very clear that Lord Krishna cannot be interpreted anything less than Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. And it decides to describe what our position as a conditioned soul is and where Bhagavan Lord Krishna stands. That's why it starts with Atra Sargo Visargascha. Oh, conditioned soul, look at you. You are given a body by that Sachidananda Vigraha Krishna. He is, from him, all the universes come out. And you are in one among those universes, in one among those material planets, so-called, on the Bhuloka, in one of those countries, in one of those nations and counties, and in one of those homes, in one of that body, that's where you are located, a speck of dust. When compared to all these gigantic material universes that are coming out from Sachidananda Vigraha, do you think that you are same as Bhagavan just because he is appearing in your form? So for that, Bhagavatam has to say Sarga and Visarga, to see that we are living on the mercy of Bhagavan to have a place and to have a body to start with. And Sthanam Poshanam. See, you are given a place in this Brahmanda, and you are given a body, and you are being maintained by Bhagavan, and you are being protected by Bhagavan, and you have all this Vutaya, this natural proclivities coming up, and you are being purified by the sadhus, by Bhagavan. And look at all these manvantaras. where do you fall in this Kala Chakra? There are 14 Manvantaras in one day of Brahma. That's just one day of Brahma. What to talk about the lifetime of Brahma? And what to talk about different Brahmas in one Brahmanda time? And where do you fit in the whole time scale? You don't even fit in one day of Brahma. In one Manvantara, there are 71 Divya Yugas, and you just fall in one of those Mahayugas, and not even in one Yuga, somewhere in one of the Kali Yugas. And look at the span of time, and where is your lifespan in that? This is the Manvantara. And look at the Ishanukatas here. So now that all this has described, annihilation is described, Nirodha, Pralaya. So in this grand scale of this material universes, grand scale of space and time, so much of annihilation is happening. And this is to prepare Parikshit Maharaj. Sukadeva Goswami was preparing Parikshit Maharaj to see how insignificant is that Takshak bird coming and biting him in this grand scale of time and space, where our body and ourself are a speck of dust. Then we are not troubled so much more. We don't attach so much of significance to it. That's why annihilation is described here, Nirodha. And why is all this happening? To grant you mukti. And what is real mukti? Muktir anyadahitva swarupena vyavastiti. The real mukti is to be established in bhakti. This is why you are put in this Brahmanda. This is why you are given this sthanam. This is why you are given this poshanam. This is how your purification has happened in Utaya. And this is why all this Manvantara and Ishanukata had to explain to you, including the Nirodha, giving you the grandness of the space and time and your place there, so you can be established in bhakti. To who? To the Ashraya, Sachid Ananda Vigraha, Lord Shri Krishna, who is present in the 10th canto. Now, hear about this Bhagavatam, which is talking about that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sachit Ananda Vigraha. This is what Bhagavatam is talking about. So all the qualities of Lord Krishna, all the leelas of Lord Krishna are transcendental. Now that you have realized that you are a speck of dust, pay attention to these transcendental leelas. Give all due respect, have faith, and hear through Shuddha Bhaktas. Then you will be purified. And this is why Ashraya is placed at the end. As if the Ashraya is placed on the high throne where it deserves all the respect. And where a conditioned soul is just a speck of dust at the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Starting at Sarga Visarga in the first, second, and third cantos. And this is how the closing statement of Padma Purana is. Padav yadiyo pradamatvitiyo. Trutiya turiyo katitau yaduru. The Pradama, Dvitiya are the lotus feet of the Lord. Trutiya and the fourth one, third and fourth, are Katitau, Yaduru. They are the transcendental thighs of the Lord. Nabhisthadha Panchama. The Nabi, transcendental navel of the Lord, is the fifth canto, where Sthanam is given. Fourth and fifth is Sthanam. Nabhisthadha Panchama eva Sashtau Dor Bhujantaram. Sashtau is sixth, Bhujantaram is chest. Poshanam is chest. Bhujantaram Dor Yugalam Tadhanyo. 7 and 8 are 6 is the chest, 7 and 8 are the 2 arms of the Lord. And Kantastu Rajan Navamau Yadiyo, 9th canto, is the Kanta. Ishanukata is the Kanta of the Lord. Yeah. And then the lotus face of the Lord is Ashraya. After that is Lalatapatham. Ekadaso Lalatapatham is Muktir. Shiropitu Dwadasayeva Bhati is Nirodha. This way, the whole transcendental body with its 10 subject matters is covered in Srimad Bhagavatam and is endorsed by Padma Purana. That's 9:27, less than 1 hour. So I'm allowed to use 1 more minute because I'm still within the 1 hour time frame. So let's see this one, this beautiful one. In this picture, please do not get confused with the numbering here. This picture is about 10 subject matters, not about the numbering of the cantos. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Because here you see Prahlada Narasimha is coming in Ishanukada as 7th subject matter, is 7th subject matter, but not here in this case it can be 7th canto too, but in other numbering, please go with the subject matters. These are not cantos. So going with the subject matters, Sarga, Visarga. Now please recall, Sarga, more in the 2nd canto. Visarga, more in the 3rd canto. Atra Sargo Visargascha. Sthanam is more in the, Sthanam is maintenance, 4th and 5th. Yeah, 4th and 5th. Sthanam. Poshanam, always remember, is chest. Chest is the place for protection. That's protection is even when there is a mistake. That is all in the 6th canto. Poshanam, 6th canto. Right? So this is Poshanam. And Utaya is the natural proclivities coming out. That's the 7th canto, where Prahlada Narasimha Charita, the Narasimha Bhagwan appearance happens in the 7th canto. And after Uti is Manvantara and Ishanukada. Manvantara, different Manus here, and Ishanukada. Here in Ishanukada, Narasimha Bhagwan's picture is depicted because Ishanukada is spread throughout the Bhagavatam, not just in one place. Everywhere Isha is there, Lord is there, and everywhere Lord's devotees are also there. So in that way, all these 10 subject matters are spread throughout Bhagavatam. Everywhere where two great souls meet, they talk about how it was created. Sarga Visarga, conversation goes on. The greeting itself goes on. To that, Lord Vishnu, who is the expansion of Krishna, who is the source of Sarga Visarga, we bow down. So conversation starts like that. So all the subject matters are spread throughout the Bhagavatam, just that they are more condensed in few cantos of Bhagavatam, not to get confused. So that's why here Narasimha Bhagwan's picture pastime is depicted and is said as Ishanukata. But actually, this pastimes Prahlada Charita is described in the 7th canto. Yeah, that is in Uti. Yeah, so don't get confused when you see this picture. Huh? Then after that, yeah, Ishanukata, Nirodho Muktirashraya. Nirodha is annihilation, 4 kinds of annihilations that we have described. You see here in Mahavishnu, all these souls are coming back, the grand annihilation. Next, Nirodho Muktir is liberation, but the greatest liberation, the real liberation is Muktir anyadahitva swarupena vyavastiti. Being established in Swarupa Bhakti is the real mukti. That's this. And all this is happening so we can take Ashraya of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, who is present in the 10th canto. I'm going to pause here. That's what we have discussed today. The summary of Srimad Bhagavatam in 1 hour. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Jaya. I'll pause here, please. And questions, reflections, anything, up to you now.
Hare Krishna.